An unusual day for this road trip. We got an eye-opening history lesson in the heart of the state we've been in for so many days, Texas. You learn so much on a road trip like this. Downtown San Antonio was close enough to walk to from our hotel, so day 20 was the first day of this trip where we didn't use the car at all. But on the way we did have to stop and ask directions from this guy. This guy turns out to be Jose Antonio Navarro, a leader of the Texas Revolution of the 1830s. He was born in and died in San Antonio and was one of the first to sign the Texas Declaration of Independence. See, already we're learning a lot. Besides the history lesson, today was also a general look at this second largest city in Texas after Houston and the 7th largest city in the United States. It took some getting used to for us after days in smaller towns and in campsites, but the majesty of San Antonio wins you over immediately. We stopped first at the Cathedral of San Fernando, whose full name in Spanish is Catedral de Nuestra Señora de la Candelaria y Guadalupe. Parts of the cathedral date from 1738, and it was originally built by settlers from the Canary Islands, which are Spanish islands off the coast of Morocco in northwest Africa. Another unexpected influence in Texas. Inside it was quiet, and official-looking religious things were going on. We walked around reverently, trying to stay out of the way and admiring the decor. The cathedral claims to hold the remains of Texas revolutionaries Jim Bowie, William Travis, and Davy Crockett, although it's generally believed that their ashes are actually buried at the Alamo nearby. We're going to the Alamo, but first it's below street level to walk around San Antonio's gorgeous Riverwalk. This area was made possible by FDR's Works Progress Administration in the late 1930s, expanding upon ideas from local leaders and architects. And it's quite a place to explore. Winding stone paths, iron railings, quaint bridges, and gentle turquoise water make for a cool, relaxing stroll below the city and in between shops, restaurants, and museums. We stopped at a place called the River's Edge for lunch. I know I said yesterday that I'm happy with grungy picnic food on a rusty roadside table, but even I have to admit that the more cosmopolitan atmosphere was a nice change. With my chicken sandwich, I ordered fruit instead of fries, but they brought fries anyway. Must be an unusual request. Potatoes are tough for diabetics though. I had to tell the waitress, and all was well. Just outside of Riverwalk is the Alamo. This is really where we learn some classic Texas history and why San Antonio is so important. We decided to pay for the audio tour. The Alamo is the common name for the mission, which is also called Mission Valero. It was built in 1718 as part of a larger complex which is now gone. The reason the Alamo is so famous is that the commonly told narrative of the battle there is so inspiring. The brief synopsis is, in 1836, Texas was part of Mexico. Local revolutionaries wanted to be independent though, and events led to a fierce battle for 2 grueling weeks at the Alamo. The Mexicans, under President General Santa Anna, won the battle and killed nearly every man at the Alamo, including famous names like Bowie and Crockett and Travis. The toughness of the Alamo defenders that's inspired Texas ever since began doing so immediately. Just a few weeks after the siege, another battle took place at nearby San Jacinto. This time, the Texans, under General Sam Houston, quickly defeated the Mexican army, and the Republic of Texas was established. Sam Houston's exhortation to his troops at San Jacinto to "Remember the Alamo" became famous worldwide. People debate which parts of the story are true and what's left out, but at any rate, the tale is very well known in Texas. Around the Alamo is a nice courtyard with more monuments and displays. And of course, a gift shop. And to think I was nervous about possibly seeing a bear while driving in Big Bend a couple days ago, and here's Davy Crockett going out with this little knife looking for bears. Different strokes. And as a classic rock fan, I of course was drawn to anything regarding Bowie. Speaking of classic rock, you may have heard a famous story about Ozzy Osbourne peeing on a wall of the Alamo. The real story is that on tour in 1982, Ozzy was wandering the streets of San Antonio one afternoon, and, as one does, Ozzy peed, not on the Alamo Mission building itself, but on the Alamo Cenotaph, which honors the Texans who died at the Battle of the Alamo, and which sits just across the street. Ozzy spent the afternoon in jail, did his concert that night, and then was banned from San Antonio for 10 years. What would make Ozzy do something like that? By the way, speaking of Jim Bowie, it is apparently pronounced Bowie, not like David Bowie, and he's famous for the unique knife he used. Plus, I think he looks like Charles Grodin, but that's beside the point. But just to wrap up this day of Texas history at the gift shop, I'll just reach down and get my own personalized knife and, well, oh come on, no Jeremys, but 2 slightly different Jeffreys? Alright, just give us our souvenir Texas token and we'll be on our way. Today was fun and instructive. Tomorrow we see more mission buildings in San Antonio. And we learn that Texas still has new surprises for us. Yet more unique terrain reveals itself as we drive to the wild, flat, windswept area along the Gulf of Mexico and to our final night in Texas in distant little Galveston.